For the Emperor! Hello, peoples. I am a space marine. I am not a space marine. I am Wheezy. This is going to be a commentary and some gameplay from the Space Marine demo, which is pretty badass, I gotta admit. And I'm gonna break it down, kind of what I expect from the game, and I'm gonna try and be real with you. I'm not gonna try and blow sunshine and watermelons up your ass. Man, that would hurt. Not the sunshine, but the... Anyway. So, I'm not gonna give you a 40k fans biased opinion, which is what I am, but I'll give you some realism. So, showing you a little bit of this awesome kill atrocity on the intro. Space Marine is... It sounds like a generic title, right? Like, Space Marines. Halo's got Space Marines. Gears has Space Marines. Man, Space Marines is so overdone. Well, you know what, motherfucker? Warhammer 40k invented the Space Marine, practically. I looked this up because I didn't know about it at the time, but Warhammer 40k actually was created in the tabletop game. For those of you who don't know, Warhammer 40k is a tabletop board game, war game, action game, role-playing game. Yeah, 1987 is when it was created, and this is a prototypical Space Marine. This is what being badass is all about. In the far distant future of the 41st millennium, man has spread throughout the galaxy, universe, everywhere, and the Space Marines are the Emperor's chosen biomedically or biologically enhanced super soldiers who are fought to wage mankind's wars. That's about all the background I'm going to give you for now. If you're interested in that, then hey, get into it. Otherwise, you probably are already interested in Warhammer 40k if you're watching this. This game, well, let's do some story. I won't talk about the gameplay. I actually played 40k back when I was in junior high, the tabletop game. I had a Blood Angels Space Marine chapter. I had I didn't get huge into it because I was in junior high. I didn't have a ton of money, but I had Terminators and Space Marines and Assault Marines, and I had Dante, which is one of their leaders, and I had a Dreadnought, and yeah, just all kinds of fun. I played with some buddies of mine in junior high, and it's just an awesome IP. Those of you who don't know, IP is an intellectual property, which is another way of referring to a franchise. But Space Marine, Warhammer 40k, in general, is a huge property that has so much potential for games. They've made some games previously, but the ones that really started getting popular for 40k were the Dawn of War games, which were RTS games, and they've kind of been expanding the franchise a bit. Space Marine is, as you can see, a third-person. Let's call it third-person action. This is not really a shooter, although there is shooting, and it's doing it a disservice to compare it to a game like Dynasty Warriors, but that's kind of what the gameplay is close to. It's, lots of enemies, and you beat them all up, you chop them all up, and there is shooting, but it's de-emphasized, and you'll see why. It's just badass, but I'm glad that they're doing more 40k games. There's actually a 40k MMO in development that when it comes out, I'm gonna have a tough time deciding about that, because I love the 40k universe, and MMOs are like crack, which is why I haven't done one since college. Done crack since college. But anyway, let's talk about this game, since now I'm chopping up orcs with a chainsword. By the way, for those of you who... The reason I pointed out this was in 1987, those of you who think this is a Gears of War ripoff, or a Halo, this franchise invented Space Marines. Those other franchises are the ripoffs. There just haven't been many 40k games, because Games Workshop has been a little bit behind on their licensing. But anyway, here you see me doing an execution, and that is how you regain health in this game, and they're only earned through melee executions. And I don't know, this gameplay should show hopefully later some Gretchens, but Gretchens can be executed just by pressing B. But most other enemies, like these orcs, which is pretty much what you'll see in the... Gretchens are small orcs, by the way, but orc warriors, these normal-sized ones, have to be stunned first, which can be done either through charging into them or a combination of attacks with X and Y to do a stun move. And once you've stunned them, you'll see the B icon appear over their head. And you can press that to do an execution move, which will earn you more health back. So this isn't a cover-based shooter, as you can see, but you can take a lot of damage. This is just on normal. But you're really just getting into the fray, being a badass, cutting things up. Here I hadn't quite figured out that you had to stun the orcs to kill them, or to get executions and earn your health back, so I got a little flustered on how to get some health back. That's why I was backing away for a minute. And then this guy, the bee went away, and I was like, how do I get it back? And anyway, so yeah, executions are the way you regain health. So essentially the game's trying to reward you for brutal melee combat, and it does so. Here's a cool kill on a big guy, and those big guys are tough. Turns out you can't like really just fight them heads up like you can with normal orcs. You got to evade their heavy attacks, which I didn't figure out at this point, but I figured out later. You push A to do an evasion move, which is a dive roll, and you can evade their heavy attacks and then attack them and wear them down that way. So kind of a mini boss fight, if you will. And you can hear some of the shooting gameplay, but a big concern that I think a lot of people probably should have about this game, especially if you're not a fan of the IP, is I imagine the game will get repetitive to an extent, because it is a hack and slash beat 'em up kind of game with some shooting elements. But I don't think that makes it a bad game. If you enjoy games like this, like Dynasty Warriors, then this will be right up your alley, definitely. And if you're a big fan of the IP like I am, it's not the melee combat is good. So it won't be repetitive enough for me to really bother me, especially since I'm really interested in the story of the game and just the atmosphere. Just playing a 40K game and being a Space Marine is cool enough for me that I'm not worried about repetitive gameplay. And you'll see there's a second level in the demo which actually shows some assault gameplay where you have a jetpack. I'm sorry. That's a Halo term. It's actually a jump pack that assault marines wear. And it changes up the gameplay, not in a major way, but enough to where it feels very different. And I think you'll see that from the gameplay here after a little bit. I tried to cut it down, so I may have cut out this middle part where the Gretchens are. But anyway, I really enjoyed the demo. I think it's going to be a great game. It's gorgeous. I mean, look at this. I did not expect it to be this good looking of a game. It is absolutely beautiful, and everything is as you would expect it to look in the 40K universe. It's, the Space Marines are spot on to every detail. It's beautiful. They've de-emphasized the shooting. A Space Marine typically has a great ability to snap shoot, whereas in this situation, from the universe, not from the tabletop games, because obviously to make them more balanced, they're a lot like this where things are balanced out. But in any of the fiction that you'll read about the universe, a Space Marine can typically snap shoot a headshot on any enemy, almost at will. Not counting more powerful, larger enemies who have typically chaos-enhanced mystical powers, because most orcs can just take one bolter to the head and, bolter shell and they're dead. So they've seriously de-emphasized shooting. That's just to give you an idea that Space Marines, even in the universe, are they do not hide. they go out and they just decimate their enemies with skill and speed. And this game really does give you the feeling of being that badass. Chopping. Just look at what I'm doing to these orcs, man. You'll see down there in the bottom left that Ultramarines icon. When it glows like that, you built up your, I think it calls it rage meter, and you can by clicking in both analog sticks, like I just did there, you kick on this rage mode where you essentially just become, kind of a berserker, just You don't take much damage, very little damage, and it regenerates. And your attacks are a lot more powerful. So, you know, good little kind of power-up boost. But yeah, just so excited for this game. Some of you may have played, they released a game on Xbox Live Arcade. It may have been on PSN, but I don't know. Called Warhammer 40k, I say 40k, it's 40,000. Warhammer 40k Kill Team, which was a dual-stick shooter, which was a very good one. But if you have that, if you completed a level in it, you unlock a special sword, like an energy sword, I think, for Space Marine when it comes out. Which is a cool little bonus for playing what's a really good twin-stick shooter. You know, it just reminds me of how they're expanding, doing more games for the Warhammer 40k universe, and that's a good thing. So, check out the demo for sure for Space Marine, and hey, download the trial game for Kill Team. I think it's $15. It may actually be no, it's $10. Kill Team is 800 points. $10. I don't think you'll regret spending it if you. Again, it's a twin-stick shooter, but it plays an awful lot kind of like this, but from an isometric twin-stick kind of perspective. But get the trial game; it's free, and if you like it, get the Xbox Live game. It's a lot of fun, a good time waster, and not too hard to get all 200 gamer score, which I enjoy because when there's a game that I really love, it's always nice to get all the achievements for it. I feel kind of like it's doing respect to the game. I did it for COD 4. I really enjoyed it. Medal of Honor, I got the full 1,000 gamer score for. Some games that deserve the effort to get 1,000 gamer score, they just make them ridiculously hard, and you didn't have to spend a ridiculous amount of time. Halo comes to mind. A lot of those multiplayer achievements are crazy to get. Beating the campaign on Legendary is its own chore. I beat COD 4 on Legendary, but I'm getting off track here. Anyway, yeah, it's just, I mean, there's a lot of ass-kickery going on here as I'm harvesting these orcs for their health, you know. I'll be switching to the jump pack gameplay here. The first level, this main level, was significantly longer than the jump pack level. Plus, I cut them down to try and get this video. I cut it originally where I just showed all of the 2 levels, and that video ended up being about 24 minutes. I thought that was a little long for a demo commentary, so let's just give you an idea for the game. So I've sung its praises enough, and the main caution I have for people who may not know this IP, may not be big 40k fans, and if you're not a big fan of beat-em-up type of games like this, this may not be worth the price of admission. I got to be perfectly honest. But if you try the demo and you would all enjoy it, I encourage you to purchase the game simply because it will encourage developers. Relic is the main developer that has the 40k license right now. It will encourage them to continue making these awesome 40k games, and that's good for everybody because there's a lot of potential in this property that has not been explored in games yet, and they're just scratching the surface of the things they can do with this 40k universe. I'm also glossing over the fact that there is a Warhammer universe as well that is not the 40k universe, which is more, I want to call it like medieval style. It's still got the same kind of fantasy stuff like orcs and things like that, but it's more old-timey. Like, it's not, spaceships and explosive rounds and jump packs. It's, horses and bows and arrows and stuff like that. But I've never been as big a fan of the Warhammer property as the 40k. But that's out there as well. And there's actually a Warhammer MMO that's currently out. Not a 40k, but a Warhammer one. But just the 40k universe has so many things they can do with it. That I'm just excited to see what kind of stuff they do with it. Personally, I think I read I think there's 6 books in the series, the Space Wolf series, about Ragnar of the Space Wolves, Ragnar Blackmane. And those, I think, would make awesome blockbuster films, to be perfectly honest. I hope someday that happens. Those books have been out a long time, but again, a lot of stuff that you can do with this property. So this game looks at all interesting to you, I encourage you, play it, enjoy it, and support the developers for taking a risk on this awesome series. Personally, I think Space Marine's going to be a great game. I'm interested in the story because there's going to be not just orcs, but there's going to be Chaos Marines. It always ends up that way. It's always you're fighting against Chaos, and you uncover some devious plot for Chaos is trying to take over planets or destroy humanity. And here's I do a double jump pack fail onto 2 ledges. So yeah, precursor kill orc hordes, then fill in with more badass chaos bosses and stuff like that. But the story will be interesting, I think. The game, as I said, is gorgeous. The gameplay is awesome. It's tight. It doesn't feel sloppy. Oh, here, I want to get out of your way for a second so you can experience the brutality of this game. Now, if that's not badass enough to make you want to at least try the demo, then there's just no hope for you. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And, yeah, this game comes out September 9th, and I am super psyched. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you download the demo and at least try it out. And, yeah, talk to you guys later. For the Emperor!